Good morning, everyone. Just want to start off by telling everyone thank you for taking your time to come and join me today. We're privileged enough to have Aaron Bachelor with us. He is with Market Synergy Group. They're a product development company that we have a relationship with here at IAMS. They make some limited distribution products that IAMS is privileged enough to have access to. So today we're going to be diving in and we're going to be looking at the Brighthouse product. We're really excited about it. Great accumulation product. We're going to dive into some of the details. He'll talk probably about some of the different strategies and just where we see some great advantages with this product. So I'm going to just go ahead and get started. I'm going to go through a few intro slides and then I'm going to hand it over to Aaron and we'll let him dive into the product with you. So I am going to throw a couple poll questions up throughout the webinar, two prior to the presentation, one at the end. Just the quicker we get those answered, the quicker we get to keep moving. So for those of you who don't know, my name's Laura Johnson. I work here at IAMS, been with IAMS all told probably about 12, 13 years now. Did about 8 years on the admin side and then been in the marketing side going on 5 years now. So work on the annuity side. So anytime you need help with annuities, need applications, need anything, feel free to give me a shout anytime. So we're going to start by just looking at a couple of the incentive programs we've got available here at IAMS. First thing I'm going to talk about is our new producer bonus. So for you who have recently maybe just joined IAMS or are considering joining IAMS, this is something that we would have available to you. When you first get contracted with IAMS, you have 6 months to qualify for what we call our new producer bonus. It's just a great way for us to be able to partner with you on some marketing stuff right off the bat. So as you can see, we do have 5 different tiers. 100,000, 250, 500, 750, and a million. So in your first 6 months, you can qualify for one of these. So let's just say you write 500,000 in the first 6 months. We could pay for your 5,000 postcard mailing and one-on-one coaching with Matt Gill on his seminar program. We could do it with Dave Pimper on the Social Security seminars. We could get you a Ritz-Carlton travel rewards package, or pay for some other advertising stuff, billboard, full website overhaul, different things like that. So just a great way for us to help you out, get you in front of more people, hopefully, and help you grow your business. So if you're curious where you stand, again, this is 100,000 of annuity dollars equals this. I will say that fixed business counts as half. So I always like to make sure people are aware of that so there's no confusion. But just again, a great way for us to partner with you right off the bat and help you get going with some marketing. Once you get done with your new producer bonus, we do move you into a marketing reimbursement program. So pretty much all the business you're writing here at IAMS will count for marketing dollars. So for every 100,000 annuity production you do, you get $100 marketing reimbursement. For every 10,000 of life target premium you write is equivalent to $200. And for every 100,000 of single premium life would be $200 as well. So again, those dollars are just continuously adding when business goes paid. If you ever want to know what your account balance is at, you can give the accounting department a call, Chris, Rebecca. They'd be happy to get you out your balance. That is a reimbursement program, so you send in receipts and we reimburse from there. We've also got a referred producer program. As you know, your business is built on referrals, and so is ours. So just a way for us to say thank you for those referrals. If you refer an agent up to us, you'll get $50 when they get contracted, $100 when they write their first piece of business, and then going forward, you'll earn 20 basis points on all the business they write. This is just a way, like I said, for IAMS to say thank you for that that referral. And this 20 basis points doesn't come out of their commission. It doesn't come out of your commission. It's just a thank you from IAMS. A lot of agents maybe don't want to build a hierarchy, don't want to take on the responsibility of downline agents, potential chargebacks, things like that. So this is just another way for us to put some money in your pocket. Here at IAMS, as part of our motto, I guess, or when we look at IAMS, we want agents to think service is number one. We're not trying to be the biggest FMO. We're trying to be number one when it comes to service, and that starts with back office support. That's answering the phone every time you call. If you've ever called IAMS, you know that we pick up the phone every time you call. The goal with that is really to get your questions answered. If I'm, out of the office for a week and you leave me a voicemail, I may not get to it for a week. Whereas when you call in the office in live person every time, we can get those questions answered right when you need them answered. So really, that's our number one goal here at IAMS, is to be number one when it comes to service. helping with case design when you need forms, verifying your training. Amber and her team do a phenomenal job scrubbing apps. We say submission to commission. From the time you submit that application, scrubbing it, having the case managers follow up every 3 to 5 business days, all the way till you get paid your commission. That's really our goal. Even after policies are issued, helping with service things, helping things get pushed through at home offices. That's what we're here for, to be that back office for you. When we're taking on some of that responsibility for you, a lot of agents don't have assistants that work with them. So if we can serve as kind of that assistant, that keeps you all in the field doing what you do best. We also are insurance based, so contracting, paperless contracting, really easy. If you're already on insurance pay, even easier. Once we've got you set up in our system, it's really a matter of just making a phone call, letting us know if you need to add another carrier, um, trying to eliminate as much paperwork as we can. We are really excited to have Firelight access now on our website. So if you go to our website, www.imsinc.com, you get logged in there, you'll see now we have an EAP Solutions tab on our website. We do have 3 different EAP platforms. Firelight is a very well-known one for a lot of annuity business, some life carriers as well. We also have IGO EAP and a Medicare EAP on there as well. So really want to make it a one-stop shop, single sign on to our website gives you access to all 3 platforms for EAPs. With current environment the way it is right now, we're seeing a lot more EAPs being processed. So Firelight, we're really excited about this partnership with them. I will just show you some of the carriers that we've already got on Firelight. On the left side, you can see a lot of our main carriers, a lot of carriers we're writing every day are out on Firelight. And there's a lot that we're adding to bringing onto the platform on a daily basis. So I know in the coming soon, it says that AIG's proprietary products coming soon. We actually do have that up on our website now. And I believe Sagicor has been fully added as well. So continuously working with the carriers to get them on Firelight and hope to have all of them on there before too terribly long. If you've never worked with our creative department, I urge you to consider working with them. They do a phenomenal job for our agents, everything from, turnkey solutions. You want to send a newsletter out to all your clients, or maybe you're new to the business and you need a logo design, business card. Sean, Jacob, Chance, Ryan, Russell, they do a great job for our agents designing websites, doing social media campaigns. You're looking to do digital marketing, online newsletters, drip email marketing. They've got all the resources to help you with all of this. So if there's anything you're working on, give your marketer at IAMS a call, let them know kind of what you're looking to do. You can use your marketing reimbursement dollars. If you're writing all your business through IAMS, we really want to provide these services to you and not have any cost to you. If you're new to the business or haven't been writing with IAMS yet, there could be a small cost, or you can use your marketing dollars to pay for those services. So if there's something you're looking to do and want to bounce some ideas off of someone, give your marketer a call, or we can get you connected with one of the gentlemen over in the creative department. Again, our website, so you can see it on the screen, is www.imsinc.com. Once you are registered and in on our website, you got a lot of great tools. Like I mentioned, the e-apps. We've also got under the products tab where you can go and do your own life quotes. Under the annuity area, we've got access for you to Annuity Rate Watch. Great way to compare to other products in the industry. You're able to get forms and things like that from our website as well. But one of my favorite spots on the website is under the support tab. You'll find our sales resource library. And this is a whole library of different tools for you all. Anywhere from specific, bunch of different fact finders, financial calculators. There's client presentations out there. Maybe you're talking to someone and what is a stretch IRA? You can go out under the sales resource library and under client presentations. There's a document out there that talks about stretch IRAs, and they're actually, made for clients. So all the things you need to know about a stretch IRA. I mean, they've got that for an indexed annuity, a fixed annuity, all sorts of things. So great resources out there. I use the fact finders, get those out to my agents all the time. I was working with an agent doing a big estate planning case, and they had a specific fact finder for estate planning. It really asks the pointed questions that you need to do that kind of a design. So some really great tools if you want the quick version through the website, or want someone to walk you through where all these tools are. You can give myself a call, or any of the marketers here at IAMS can give you the walkthrough of the website. So again, www.iamsinc.com. For those of you who don't know, we do have an RIA in this office as well. Charles Jr., Joan, Mike Hansen, Sarah do a great job for our advisors. A couple years ago, when the DOL was kind of looming over all of our heads, Charles and Steve said it was time to join this side of the business as well. And we really think it really offers all of our agents just everything they need in one spot. Having the capability to put their 65, or if you're CFP, being able to get registered with wealth management and have that outlet for your clients as well. Often we see agents going into households, and let's just say the client has $500,000 and only 350 is going to be suitable for the annuity we're looking at doing. What are you going to do with that other $150,000? You know, um, can't put it in annuity based on suitability guidelines. So if you're not doing something else with that money, you're just allowing for another advisor to come in and potentially steal that client from you. So we think it's a really valuable tool, and I think it's been a great asset to IAMS. Couple things. Again, if you're registered rep, 65 license, you're CFP, you can get registered. But when I throw this first poll question up, if you want information on our platform, what they have to offer over on the wealth management side, and the answer yes, all that'll do is generate a phone call from Mike Hansen to get your questions answered. We've also got a soliciting program. So depending on the state you live in, maybe you're studying for your exam and you run into some clients. If you refer those clients over to IAMS, we can take care of those clients for you while you study. And then once you pass your exam, we can transfer those right back out to you. Good way to kind of build some assets under management. Or maybe you just have no interest in getting your license. Good way to know that that client is still in house and you don't have to worry about potentially losing it to another client. And like I said, with that soliciting program, depending on the state you live in, we could actually be able to pay you a portion of that fee. So if you do have any questions on the soliciting program or the IAMS Wealth Management platform at all, just go ahead and answer yes to that, and we'll get you a call out and get your questions answered. All right. Just a couple more slides, and we'll be handing this over to Aaron. One of my favorite things to talk about are our life and annuity academies. I think these are great training opportunities for agents out in the field. Not only do you get to meet with 45 other people who are doing exactly what you're doing every day, but we've got some great keynote speakers that come in, bring in some of our top producers who are going to introduce exactly what they're doing in the field every day, what their marketing plan is, how they're getting in front of clients, what's working, what's not. And to hear it from people who are doing exactly what you're doing every day can be really valuable. So anywhere from radio to seminars to, hey, here's a niche product that if you offer to your clients could add to your bottom line, just giving you unique tools. But a lot of the agents that do come into this not only take away a lot of stuff from our speakers, but also from each other, bouncing ideas off of each other. Again, we bring 40 to 50 people into each of these meetings, and it's a great way to bounce ideas off with each other as well. We usually do partner with one of our home, carriers to put these events on. We were actually supposed to be up in Des Moines right now this week doing one of these with Athene, but due to the current situations, we have postponed that. Probably will be late summer, early fall before we can get to starting to have these meetings again. But a great investment of 2 to 3 days. It is all expense paid, so we're picking up the flights, paying for the hotel, and paying for all your meals. So I think it's a really good investment of your time. So if you are interested in maybe joining us for one of these life and annuity academies, if you answer yes to the poll question, what that will do is send you out a registration link. It's a pre-registration link. It at least lets us know that you're interested, so that when we do have the next one come up, we'll be able to get in contact with you, let you know the dates, where we're going to be holding the meetings, things like that. So good way to just kind of get your name on the list. Let us know you are interested so we can stay in touch with you in regards to it. We usually co-sponsor, like I said, Athene. We're planning on doing one with Athene, hopefully F&G, maybe Equitrust North American this year. So a couple great companies to partner with on those as well. I'm going to close that poll question real quick. All right, last thing I'm going to talk about before I hand it over to Aaron is trips. We all love trips, and IAMS is big on trips. We love um, not only rewarding the agents, but when you go on one of the IAMS trips, I don't think you'll ever want to miss another one. We really want you to feel the IAMS family vibe, welcome you to the family, and hope that you'll be on every trip thereafter. So, a couple trips we got going on. We're privileged enough to work with Athene on this trip. It is an IAMS and Athene only event. So all the business you write with Athene started in July of last year and runs through the end of June. 3 million would get you and a guest to the Montage down in Cabo for 4 days. You and a guest. It includes golf. It includes spa. And like I said, you'll be with a lot of the other top producers with IAMS and Athene, and a great way for us to say thank you for that business, and also just give you and your spouse or your significant other or your best friend, whoever you bring along, just a nice little vacation. So if you're curious where you stand, I know we got the updated numbers a couple days ago uh, through April or through March or April. So if you're curious where you stand, just give your marketer or anyone at IAMS a call. They should be able to give you where you stand right now. So really excited about that trip at this time. We haven't postponed it or anything. We're kind of hanging tight to see kind of what happens over the next month or so. The second trip I'm going to talk about is kind of a two-part trip. And this is an IAMS only trip. So this is for all the business you write with IAMS, you're earning trip credits. It takes 3.5 million trip credits to qualify. So for example, annuities are dollar for dollar. If you're writing target life premium, it'd be 11.5 times whatever the target premium is. That's how many trip credits you'd get. But 3.5 million trip credits gets you and a guest down to Mexico. This trip's going to be March of 2021. We're really excited about it. Qualification did start in July of last year, but runs through December of this year. So we got plenty of time to qualify. Anyone who writes 3.5 million or more, you and a guest, down in Mexico from March 7th to the 11th. And then what we've done this year is we're going to do a kind of a second part to the trip, and that's going to be for our top 15 to 20 guys. It takes 6.5 million to qualify. 8.5 million guarantees you a spot. But really looking to take our top guys out on a second part, piggyback the first part of the trip to another island. Staying at this time, we'll be staying at a Four Seasons resort, the 11th through the 14th. Again, looking to do a lot of golf, a lot of spa, and it's just a great time to just be part of the IAMS family, get to know a lot of the other top producers. A great time to bounce ideas off and hopefully make some long-lasting friendships as well. So really excited about all these things. Again, at this time, trips are all still on. We're going to kind of play it by ear at this point. So if you are curious where you stand for this trip as well, go ahead and give us a call. We can get you out where you currently stand. So really excited about it. And with that, I am going to hand it on over to Aaron. Like I said, Aaron is with Market Synergy Group. We're privileged enough to have that relationship where they have helped us design or helped design several products for us. And so he's going to dive in and look at Brighthouse. This is Secure Advantage. It's a 6-year accumulation product. And with that, Aaron, I will hand the time over to you.
Okay, thanks, Laura. Can you hear me?
Yep, we're good. And I can see your screen as well.
Okay, perfect. Well, good morning, everyone. Thanks for taking time out of your day to jump on the webinar. I appreciate the opportunity to jump on here and go through the Brighthouse Secure Advantage 6 product that is fairly new to the market, rolled out in early February. So we're just a few months into this. And so I just want to take a little bit of time today to just kind of go through the product and just kind of hit the highlights. There's some unique features to it that's not available on any other products out there. And so we'll just jump into it and go through this. I think at the end, we'll instead of doing a Q&A, I think we'll just direct questions back to Laura and the team there at IAMS. So let's jump into it here. So let's first define the opportunity. Okay, so let's talk about when we were coming up with the development of this product. It is a longer, it's a 6-year strategy. So we knew that there was going to be some things that people traditionally don't like about longer strategies. Okay, so one of the things we knew that we were going to have to overcome was client doesn't see any gains until the end of the crediting term. Okay, no death benefit as the client died before the end of the crediting term. No interest credit reduces free withdrawal availability. No partial credit on free withdrawals, and you can lose all your gains at the end, and no annual reset to take advantage of market rebounds. So those were things that we knew if we were going to come out with a longer strategy that we were going to have to overcome. So what if we could solve all those? So client doesn't see any gain in the index till the end of the crediting term. Well, what if we could show full performance value shown daily? Okay, no death benefit if client dies before end of crediting term. Full daily performance values paid at death. No interest credit reduces free withdrawal availability. You 10%, so free withdrawals are 10% of premium, so not of account value, premium, so that's a little unique, and they're available in the first year. No partial credit on free withdrawals, pro rata credit on withdrawals, and you can lose all your gains at the end. So although this is a longer strategy, it does have the benefit of annual reset. So if the market happened to have a bad year, you do get to start at a lower index starting point and take advantage of a possible rebound. Also on one of the strategies, and we'll talk about that, there is a performance lock that's available. So we'll talk about that here in a little bit. What is one thing that a lot of people don't like about fixed index annuities? Renewal rates, okay? So I'm not going to go through all of this, but what I want you to know, one of the key points of the Secure Advantage 6 is there are no renewal rates, okay? So the 6-year strategy, whatever the rate is at issue, is what you have guaranteed for the full 6-year period, okay? So now let's get into the product design. So I don't think we need to spend a ton of time. I think everybody's familiar with who Brighthouse is, a spinoff of MetLife. I think probably the most important thing to everybody on the phone today is down the box at the bottom right corner. You can see the ratings, which are phenomenal. So S&P, they're A+. So once again, I don't think anybody's going to have to spend any time explaining or selling Brighthouse. I think you've seen probably they do a phenomenal job of marketing. They have some commercials out on some really big sporting events. And have done a really good job of getting their name and getting recognized out there. So this product has 3 pillars. Okay, so let's start with the first pillar, which is protection. So as we go into the annual sum strategy here in a little bit, you're going to hear me talk about a 10% downside. But what is very important, what I need you to remember is this is a fixed indexed annuity. So your purchase payment is 100% protected. Okay. And you have a death benefit that keeps pace with the daily performance value. So you have a death benefit that keeps pace. So we'll go into that in more detail. But I want you to know, once again, this is a fixed index annuity. Your purchase payment's 100% protected. We have a growth pillar. So there's only 2 strategies available on this. You have an annual sum strategy, which we were first to the market with this strategy. No other product has an annual sum strategy. And there's a point-to-point strategy. Okay. As I mentioned before, there is a performance lock available, and I'll say it now and then we'll cover it in the screen because I don't want there to be any confusion. The performance lock is only available on the point-to-point strategy. Okay, it's not available on the annual sum. So we'll talk about it here as we dive into a few more screens. You'll see it. And then this product only uses, there's no vol control indexes. So 2 major market indexes that everybody's familiar with, the S&P and the Russell 2000. Okay. The clarity pillar. So this is a short-term 6-year accumulation product. There's no fees and there's no riders. So there's no income rider, there's no death benefit rider. It's just a 6-year accumulation product. You can track your balances, track your values, and then as we talked about before, you do have free withdrawal availabilities of 10% of premium available in the first year. So what are the differentiators with this product? Okay, so once again, I mentioned the annual sum strategy, okay, which we'll go into more detail. You have a performance lock on the point-to-point strategy, which you don't see a lot of products that allow you the ability to lock in. And then the ability to track your values. And we'll go into these values here in the next few screens. So we have an interim value, we have a death benefit value, and we have a daily performance value. So let's go into those in a little more detail. Your interim value, think of this as a vested amount or time served. You can see it's calculated daily, reflects the performance rate adjusted by the amount of time elapsed in the index term. So let's look at our example over here to the bottom or to the left. Clients completed 3 of the 6 years, so we're halfway through. So in this case, we started with 100. The performance through that is 10%. The index is up 10%. But we've only been in the contract half of the time, 3 of the 6 years. So we're going to take that 10% times half to get 5%. So our interim value is 105. Really where that's going to come into play is if a person wanted to surrender the policy. So they look at their interim value and take that times the surrender charge. Okay. So now let's look at the death benefit value, and I'm going to go forward a screen and I'll come back. But what I want you to know is the death benefit value and the daily performance value are the same number. And if you look at the bottom line here, that's what it says. Daily performance value will always equal the death benefit value. I'll go back here. So in this case, the client passes away at the end of the 3rd contract year. So once again, we're 3 years into this thing. We started at 100. At that point, it's up 10%. Well, the beneficiaries are going to get that full 10%. So the death benefit value is $110,000. If I go forward a screen once again to the daily performance value, this is just a client checking their account after the 3rd year. Same scenario. It's up 10. Daily performance value is $110,000. So once again, those two values, Brighthouse was adamant that they wanted to make sure that it was very clear that there is a death benefit value. But I guess I'm saying for simplicity, just know that and the daily performance value are the same thing. So now let's talk about annual sum. Once again, this is first to the market with this. This isn't on any other products. I'm guessing most of you on this call at some point have done monthly sum and are familiar with how monthly sum works. So let's just, if you're not, I'll give a 15-second summary of it. So monthly sum is, I'm adding up 12 numbers and there is no downside floor. So hypothetically in 1 month, if the index happened to go down 20%, for that month, I would bank a negative 20 and have to overcome that. So annual sum is this. Think of it. It's once again, it's a 6-year product. So instead of adding up 12 numbers, I'm adding up 6 numbers, and I have a 10% downside floor. So the worst I can ever bank in any given year is a negative 10. Okay, so you can see it's index performance measured and stored at the end of each contract year during the 6-year period, summed up at the end. If for some reason, now this goes back to what I said in the protection pillar, if the total is negative, then it's 0. So as I add my 6 numbers up, if that happens to be a negative number, then it's a 0. It's a fixed index annuity. I can't lose my purchase payment. Okay. So let's go through an example here. So don't get caught up on the rate. This is no time frame. Don't do it. This is just for visualization. Sometimes it's just easier to kind of see how this thing works. So this is saying a cap rate of 8%. And so once again, let's just go through. In the first year, the index does 7, so we bank a 7. In the second year, the index does 4, we bank a 4. Next year, the index does 13, we cap out at 8, so we bank an 8. Next year, the index goes down 12%, but remember our floor is 10, so we bank a negative 10. Next year, it's up 6, we bank 6. Next year, it's up 3, we bank 3. End result is 18%. Once again, don't get hung up on the rates or the end result or the time frame. It's nothing. This is just for visualization. So in all reality, the easiest way to explain this, if you really want to be really simplistic, is that in any given year, you're going to bank a number between, in this case, if your cap was 8, a positive 8 and a negative 10. And you're going to add those 6 numbers up, and that's your return at the end of 6 years. Okay? Here's a first page of an illustration. So this is actually no Brighthouse illustration on this product. So this is $100,000, and that qualifies for our middle band. I'll show you the rate card here in a few slides. We have 3 bands. So 50,000 is the minimum. So 50 to 99 is the low band. 100 to 499 is the middle band, and then 500 plus is the high band. Right now, we just had a rate change May 1st. So the middle band right now on the $100,000 is a cap of 7.25. Okay. So you can see, let's just go through the first line here. This is a 60-year-old. We won't go through each line. The first line here. So 60 years old, the index did 12.78. Okay. Our cap is 7.25. So we capped out at 7.25. So you can see the performance rate column there in the middle. The full is 7.25. The adjusted is 1/6 of 7.25. So 121 is 1/6 of 7.25. If you follow me now, the adjusted should equate to the interim value, okay, the 101,208, and the daily performance value column over to the far right should adjust or should relate to the full performance rate of 7.25. So it's 107,250. So if you look at go back to the adjusted column under the performance rate, that's 16, 26, 36, 46, 56, 66. Okay. So the average return on this particular illustration is 4.24. Here is another visual. Once again, please don't get hung up on anything other than just trying to show you how this works. So this would be an annual sum. So on annual sum strategy, you can either choose cap or you can choose par rate. Okay, and then you can choose S&P or you can choose Russell. So this is an annual sum with par rate of 60. So you can see, once again, first year index did 6, so we take 60% of that, we banked to 3.6. Next year it does 4.72, 60% of that's 2.83. Next year it was down 270, we banked a negative 270, so on and so forth. I think at this point you're probably getting the hang of it. And so at the end result of this, after we added up those numbers, was 15.24. Okay? The next slide, the whole purpose of this slide is just to show you that the product does have annual reset. So the top is positive index performance, the bottom is negative index performance. So let's just look at the top. So we start at 1,000. Ended that year, it's 1,060. That's our starting point for year 2. Okay, so on and so forth. Let's look at the bottom. Happened to go down the first year, so we went down to 990. So 990 is our new starting point. You can see the next year it went down to 850. Now 850 is the new starting point for year 3. So it is annual reset. So if it happens to have a bad year and hoping that the thing rebounds the next year, you would have that starting point to take advantage of that. Here's an annual sum with participation rate illustration. So once again, $100,000. Right now that qualifies for a 50% par rate on the S&P. So once again, let's just look at the first line. So the index did 1278. We have a 50% par of that. That's 639. 1/6 of that is 107. That 107 is going to equate to your interim value of 101,065. And that 639 is going to equate to your daily performance value of 106,391. Okay. Here is now I'm going to switch gears on you. That was annual sum. Remember, we have annual sum and we have point to point. So point to point, I think everybody on the call is very familiar with. This is a 6-year point to point. Okay, so I'm looking at the index today. I'm looking at the index in 6 years. Remember, this is a strategy, excuse me, and we'll talk about this in a slide. This is a strategy you can do a performance lock, but just straight 6-year point to point in this example you're looking at. It went from year 1 to year 6. The index went up 30%. We had a 50% participation rate. So I had 15% interest credited. Okay. Once again, here's the performance lock. So you have a one-time ability on the point-to-point strategy to do a performance lock. So let's just hypothetically talk through an example. Let's just say we're 4 years into this and it's performed well and we're comfortable with where it's at. And we think maybe over the next 2 years, there may be a correction and we're not willing to risk it. So at that time, you could lock in your values at that time. You'd basically just sit on the sideline for the remaining 2 years, and whatever value you locked in at the 4-year mark would be what your return would be for the full 6 years. So once again, you have a one-time opportunity on the point-to-point to do that. Okay, here is a point-to-point, and on the point-to-point strategy, it's just a participation rate. So point-to-point with participation rate, $100,000, par rate is 45%. At this point, for sake of time, I won't go through each one, but at this point, I think you get the gist of where we're going with this. And the return on this one is 545. The average return on this one is 545. Okay. This is page 17 of the illustration. So this does a nice job of basically taking 5 6-year segments. Dating back to 1990, so going back 30 years. And it basically just says, here's how the index performed, and here's how you would have had if you had a 7.25 cap, a 50% par, and 45% the headers wrong on the one, 50% par, and then a 45% point to point. How each of that would have done, and then it does you a cumulative return, and it does it for both the S&P and the Russell over on the right. So a lot of people are just referring to this page as just a nice snapshot. of the illustration. So this is the last page of it. If you run a Brighthouse illustration, this is the last page of the illustration. Okay. Here are the new rates. So these were the rates as of 5/1. So I'm just going to focus on S&P. This is not discounting Russell. I'm just doing this for sake of time. So you can see annual sum with cap. If you're 50 to 99, 675. 100 to 499, 7.25, and plus 500, 500 plus 7.5. You go to annual sum with par rate, it's 40, 50, and 55. Okay, you just go down to the point to point, you're at 35, 45, and 50. So I'm sure you are familiar and have seen a lot of the carriers in this kind of turbulent times here with the 10-year Treasury where it's at and volatility where it's at. You've seen a lot of carriers make some adjustments, and so we're seeing par rates in the teens. I mean, I've seen some carriers come out with par rates that are 18%, 20%, and things like that. So I think if you had $100,000 and wanted an annual sum with par rate, and that would qualify to the middle band, you're getting 50% par. And the one thing I want to point out, remember on these 6-year strategies, so annual sum with cap rate, annual sum with par rate, and then the point to point, those are guaranteed for the full 6-year period. There's no renewal rates. Okay. So even some of our competitors, some of the carriers that right now are offering let's just say there's a 25% 1-year S&P par rate out there. That's not guaranteed for more than 1 year. So that 25 at renewal could go to 20. I mean, there's no guarantee. These are guaranteed for the full 6-year period. Okay. So let's, in summary, talk about, here's the Brighthouse Secure Advantage 6-year. So it has contract values that you can track daily. It has a death benefit that keeps pace. It has an innovative annual sum strategy that's not available on any other product that give you possibly some more upside. It has rate consistency. We just talked about this. Remember, the rates are guaranteed for the full 6-year period. And it has a performance block on the 6-year point-to-point strategy that's unique as well. So that's the product in a nutshell. Like I said, it's off to a great start. We've built a lot of momentum. Have a lot of good positive momentum going with the product only 3 months into it. And I think there's a lot of nice features to the product that are making people gravitate to it and kind of make it their go-to product. So that's all I have, Laura. I will turn it back over to you. And like I said, I think we'll just direct questions back to you and your team. And once again, I appreciate the opportunity for allowing me to jump on this morning and go through our product. So hope everybody has a great rest of the day. I'll turn it back over to you, Laura.
Thank you, Aaron. Well, last thing I'm going to do real quick, we appreciate you taking time again, Aaron, out of your day to do this. Let me see. I thought there was a question, but it went away. So last thing I'm going to do is throw up a poll question. This is just going to ask if you want information on this. Then I'll have my assistant send out today an email to each of you with the marketing materials, current rate sheets, things like that. And then I will actually follow up with each of you individually to see if there's any additional questions you may have. So with that, yeah, just go ahead and hit yes if you'd like information, and then I will follow up with each of you guys later on today or tomorrow. And again, thanks, Aaron, for taking time out of your day to join us. We really appreciate it.